Hello. So today I got up thinking about hypergamy. That's a topic that's been very popular over the past, I would say, decade. Everyone has been saying that women should go after money, not love. And I guess both areas would have value, right? Love is a special feeling, but money provides security. Now, I'm no spring chicken. I am in my 50s. And all my life, I kind of had an interesting way of thinking of hypergamy. A part of me always believed that, I always say that I'm old school. And I believe that a man should financially support his woman, his wife, not his girlfriend, his wife. I believe that a man should go out and work and be a provider for his wife. I also believe that the woman should take care of the home. So I always said, hey, I know I'm probably misogynistic and believe in traditional values. There we go. That's the term I'm looking for. I believe in traditional values. The husband should get up. He should go to work. However, the wife should get up first and make his breakfast, his coffee, his lunch, make sure he has everything he needs. And then he should get up, go to work, earn the money, and bring home the bacon. And at that same time, the wife will get the bacon, cook it, and it'll be waiting on the table for him when he gets home. So this has always been in the back of my mind, and I've always believed it at a fundamental level. Don't know where I got that concept, but I know growing up, I always liked shows like, Leave It to Beaver or Happy Days or, any of those shows where you see the wife, she's in the kitchen and the husband brings home the bacon. So, as I'm getting older here, though, I recognize the importance of the wife being able to financially support herself in case the husband dies or the husband leaves. Because as we're seeing, men are not always faithful. Sometimes they do decide to leave the relationship, or maybe they're not honest about their finances, or they die. And now the woman is left having to scramble and figure out how to take care of herself. Of course, if the man wasn't rich and left her with a substantial inheritance or, some kind of death benefit. But I met a girl yesterday. Her name's Susan. We'll call her Susan. And Susan had been married for 30 years. She was a stay-at-home wife. She never had to work a day in her life besides waitressing back when she was in high school. So she met her husband, Eric, very early, and they met in high school. And they fell in love, and he decided at that point that he was going to take care of Susan for the rest of his life. So they got married right out of high school. Eric was lucky enough to work in his father's business, which was very successful. He made really good money. He was a salesperson for his father's business, and he has the gift. You know the gift. And he could sell anything to anyone. Ice to an Eskimo. So he started working, making lots of money, and Susan stayed home. She had the first baby 2 years out of high school, and she had 4 more after that. So Susan said she had this beautiful life with Eric. He was the man of her dreams, the only man she's ever been with. Her high school sweetheart. He just adored her, gave her whatever she wanted, never raised his voice at her, just was the sweetest man. He really is old-fashioned in the way that he didn't really communicate his feelings a lot. However, he was willing to listen to her, but she always felt like something was hidden from her. Years later, and as I mentioned, they've been married for 30 years. So recently, poor Susan was folding Eric's dirty laundry, removing it from the back of the chair like he liked to throw it on. And a condom fell out of the pocket. Now, these people been in a relationship for 30 years. They had all their children. Susan had her tubes tied. She can no longer have children. They're married. They don't use condoms. And a condom falls out of his pocket as she was removing it from the chair. And not a full condom, a condom wrapper. So that means that the condom was used. She freaked out. She froze and just stared at it. Then she picks it up, looks at it, and fell into immediate deep depression. At this moment, she realized that her life had been a fallacy, that the perfect man that she thought she had wasn't real. He existed in her head. So at this moment, when she found the condom wrapper, Eric was at work, or so he claimed. So she just put the wrapper back in the pants and placed it back over the chair and left it that way. And she tried to distract herself with other busy work around the house, but of course, how could she ignore that? She's a traditional wife. She's not used to, explosive arguments or calling him or confronting him. She's never confronted this man a day in her life. So she wasn't really sure how to handle this. She called me because I have this channel, Relationship Horror Stories, and I've heard it all. And I've had friends who've been in similar situations. So she found me online and called me. And that's how we met yesterday, where she told me all this. I advised her to have patience, to wait until Eric came home, and to sit him down and to talk to him as calmly as she could. And that's what she did. Of course, he denied it. He didn't know where it came from. And then finally he broke down and confessed that yes, he had been having an affair with a girl from the gym. And he was sorry. She was a 25-year-old, and it started off very innocently. During the time that Susan was going through a depression and she didn't want to be physical with him, and she was feeling insecure about her body after the 4 kids, he needed some affection. So he strayed a couple times, and this was the last time he strayed. He claimed it didn't mean anything and that he wanted to stay in the relationship. Susan has decided to stay in the relationship. She made that decision very quickly, the same day. And she confessed to me that the reason she's choosing to stay in the relationship is because of finances. She has never had a job. She doesn't have a career. Besides waitressing back in high school 30 years ago, she has no skills besides maintaining a home and raising children. And some can argue that those are transferable skills, but the marketplace often does not value those skills. So she's going to stay, and she's going to hope for the best, and she's not going to leave her happy home so that a 25-year-old can come and take what she's built with her husband. Do you agree with her? What would you do? Leave a comment below.